All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 1. Avery Walker and Adam Barker on the front row battling for the championship. Wessel Stevens and Nick Sorensen on the second row. Ian Tanzius and Rudolph Gunther on the third row. Zach Bache and Robin Hag, on the fourth row. Mike Marshall and Roman Berg round out the field. MP, unfortunately, I got sick right after I got done streaming, and by the time I got to feeling better, I had forgotten, but I'll watch immediately after this race and message you. Here we go, cars coming around, leading the pace lap, or the partial pace lap, I should say. Headed down toward that final 90-degree turn. The Porsche pace car makes the hard dive to pit road. They come through the final turn. Avery in control. Avery fires. They are away. Green is in the air. The first turn is that tricky 90-degree turn. Yeah, I'm feeling much better today, buddy. Thank you. Avery out front. Wessel Stevens quickly moving to second. Sorensen into third. Adam Barker has dropped back to fourth place. You'll note Sorensen in the Mercedes. That was not a tactical choice. That was his choice on a whim. He said he just wanted to drive the Mercedes here. Definitely a very crazy choice, considering that car has a lot of power and a lot of straight line speed, but it does struggle with turns. Doing okay so far coming up the mountain. Here we go. Avery heads down the mountain out front. Wessel in second. And you can see as they come down the mountain, depending on the car and the driver, there's a lot of different lines being taken, but onto the long straightaway. Long straightaway where all the drivers get to max speed. Adam Barker back and forth. Ian now up in fifth. Zach Bache currently runs in sixth. Rudolph Gunther in seventh. Mike Marshall in eighth. Robin Hag in ninth. And Roman Berg in 10th as they come across the start-finish line to complete lap 1. And surprisingly, no problems on lap 1, but there is now Wessel Stevens went off track. Roman Berg has had a problem. Wessel likely just clipping a little too much of the grass here. Comes out of that final turn just a bit wide, but keeps it out of the tires. Roman Berg coming toward the final turn in the Porsche. And the back end just steps around on him. He does recover and get it going. And it looks like there was a problem coming up the mountain for several drivers. Here they come to turn left into the mountain, and oh, The Mercedes just gets clipped and everybody stacks up behind. Zach Beisch also had a problem back behind Sorensen. Looks like Zach just slams the brakes on to avoid it, ends up spinning, and Mike Marshall gets him straightened back out. That chaos back behind really helped Avery. Avery's lead now 3.6 seconds over Wessel Stevens. Adam Barker has moved back up into third. Ian back in fourth. Rudolph Gunther now up into fifth. Zach Beisch holds sixth despite that incident. Robin Hagg now in seventh. Mike Marshall in eighth. Roman Berg in ninth. And Sorensen in 10th on his way to pit road. Gotta wonder, is Nick now regretting driving the Mercedes? Wessel Stevens and Adam Barker both in the Acura right behind. Coming up the mountain and down the mountain, both are extremely tricky. Not a lot of places to make a good, clean pass. Ian about 2.25 seconds back, currently in fourth. Ian starting to make up a little bit of ground on the two cars ahead. Rudolph Gunther in fifth, about 8 seconds back. Zach another 1.7 seconds behind him, with Robin right on his bumper. Mike Marshall in the Corvette, currently in eighth. Roman coming down the mountain in ninth, and Sorensen on his way back up after repairs. Nick's definitely got his hands full and a lot of ground to make up. Meanwhile, up front, Avery continues to pull away. His lead now 4.8 seconds. The straight line speed of the Mustang obviously helping out here. Mike Marshall closing in on Robin Hagg, who's just 1.5 seconds behind Zach. Meanwhile, Zach trying to close back up on Rudolph. And there was a problem up ahead for Adam Barker. He is rolling, but he has lost a lot of ground. Adam was running in third, right behind Wes. Holy cow! Looked like he just completely missed his braking point. And looked like Wessel got a tap as well. Oh, yeah, I think Wessel had a little bit of contact. Avery Walker's lead just keeps growing after that incident, and Wessel had a problem a moment ago. There's Wessel all alone. Oh no, he gets loose at the top of the mountain. Just get up there. It's one of those points on the track where the back end, the whole car just gets light. Minimal damage to the front of his car, but he does lose a position. And quite a bit of a shakeup in the field now. Avery still out front by 10.5 seconds. Ian Tansius now in second, trying to close that gap. Wessel back in third, but with damage, he's getting beat on the long straightaways as Barker goes side by side. This might get a little spicy. Oh, Adam outbreaks it. Wessel to fourth. Rudolph Gunther now in fifth. Zach Bache in sixth. Robin Hag in seventh. And they are all nose to tail, a four-car group. Adam Barker not very far ahead either. Wessel starting to try and put some ground between him and the cars behind. Rudolph Gunther surprisingly back in the McLaren. Team Gunther is known for running those Porsches, but Rudolph has been in the McLaren more and more. Rudolph tried to peek on the inside on Wessel, couldn't quite get there. Adam Barker in third has put some breathing room behind him. This group now 2.5 seconds back. Mike Marshall closing in on that group ahead as well. This group still very tight together from fourth on back. Any mistakes on the mountain could be catastrophic. Looked like Zach Bache pushed it right to the limit. Almost kissed the wall. Wessel trying to pull away, has almost a 1 second lead. Pudsey, there's always chaos on the mountain. I did hear from talking to the drivers, apparently top split in the 12 hours yesterday with the pro teams out there. Even that had some chaos in it. Ian Tansius in second, gaining no ground on Avery. Avery almost 13 seconds ahead at the moment. Adam Barker in third, about 7.9 seconds behind Ian. He is gaining ground, but likely not going to have enough time. Wessel Stevens and Rudolph Gunther still sit 4 and 5th. They did put a little space between them and the two Porsches of Raman Hag and Zach Bache. Meanwhile, the Corvette of Mike Marshall continues to close in. Romanberg with the early setback back in ninth, and Sorensen with the early damage having to go to pit road in 10th. Very impressive run for Avery when you consider we have seen that Mustang has so little rear grip. The fact that he is able to get it up and over the mountain repeatedly is impressive. Despite the damage, Wessel still holds on to 4th. Rudolph right on his back bumper has been making Wessel work for it. Will he make a move in the final laps? Avery heading back up the mountain and continues to pull away from Ian. The gap now 13 seconds. Adam Barker continues to close on Ian. Last time by almost a second faster, but he is still 6.9 seconds back. Good morning, Dazzy. Avery comes out of the mountain, and we should see the white flag this time. Here comes Avery through the final turn. Will he see the white flag this time, or will there be another lap after this one? No white flag flying yet. That definitely benefits guys like Rudolph Gunther who are battling for position. Robin Hagg has pulled a gap on Zach at the moment. Mike Marshall still inches closer and closer to Zach Beige. Avery is dominated from the drop of the green flag. Ian Tansius has just managed to avoid the chaos to pull himself up into second, and with the clean air, he has been flying around the track. Don't forget, race 2, the top 7 will invert. That's going to make Avery come through a lot of traffic. And with Adam Barker back in third, Avery gains a little bit of ground in the points. For the moment, Wessel has put some space between him and Rudolph. Robin Hagg has started closing back in little by little. And the white flag flies one more time around for Avery. He has a 14-second lead over Ian. Barker in third has stabilized the gap between him and Tansius. Wessel in fourth has put some space between him and Gunther. Robin Hagg and Zach Bache still very close. And Mike Marshall has lost a little ground on Zach. Roman Berg in ninth. Nick Sorensen currently in 10th. Avery gets to the top of the mountain one last time. With a 14.25 second lead. And down the long straightaway, here comes Avery Walker. Avery Walker comes around, just one more turn to go, and a dominant run here this morning. Avery Walker will win race one. Sadly, in a Ford, we'll never hear the end of it. Ian Tansius comes down, takes the final turn, will come home in second. And Adam Barker comes home in third. And let's see if we can talk to our top three. Adam, despite some trouble, you came out of that one okay.
Yeah, don't know quite how that happened there, but it was definitely an interesting race. I'm gonna have a look back at the move on Wessel. I thought I was braking at the normal point, but must have been a little bit late for him or something. I don't know. But yeah, good race. Apologies to Wessel for just giving him a tap there, but yeah, hopefully we can see something similar in the next race and with less collisions. The car was a little bit bent from the incident with Nick as well. He bounced off the wall and gave me a little bit of steering damage. So hopefully I can keep the car clean for the next 50 minutes.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Ian Tansius comes home in second. Ian, you're on the podium. Congratulations. That was one heck of a run, too.
Hey, thank you.
You did manage to avoid a lot of chaos going on out there to pull that one off.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't really think that I was any quicker than anyone else, but, or at least of the guys that falling in front of me, but just managed to get through the wrecks better than a lot of them did and got me up there.
Well, man, it definitely worked. A great finish. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
And finally, our winner, Avery Walker. Congratulations, Avery. It's a horrible day for the rest of us, but you got to win in a Mustang. This is actually I believe the first time a Mustang has won in NSS.
I think it is, and that was part of the reason for doing it. Was I wanted to get a win for the Mustang, as much as I know it's maybe bad for you and the people out there.
Yeah, it really, really is. People should not see a Mustang in victory lane, but man, it was a really dominant run. I know that Mustang does lack rear grip, but the straight line speed was all there.
Yeah, no, I tested a bunch of different cars, and for whatever reason, the Mustang is what felt best. Going to be completely different though for race 2, so I think you're going to get to see a little bit of Mustang carnage.
Well, you do have a lot of traffic to come through, man. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, it's a sad day when a Mustang is in victory lane, but congratulations to Avery. And now we go off to race 2, as it does look like Rudolph is practicing pit road entry. Ian Tansius also out on pit road, but this pit road entry has bit more than a few drivers, and everybody is going to have to make a pit stop on this one. They do not have the fuel to make it to the end. That pit stop is going to be huge. Looks like Roman Berg rolling out, seeing if he can get back to pit road and get a little pit practice as well. With the top 7 inverting going into race 2, the start and the first couple laps and the trip up and down the mountain, things are going to get a bit spicy. You got a guy like Avery Walker starting in 7th. He has got a lot of ground to cover to get back to the front. And obviously with the close points battle between Avery and Adam, things really going to be tight out there. And Avery definitely needs to get ahead. Don't forget, as soon as the race is over, go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTube. A lot of great YouTube shorts have been coming out, and more to come. And nobody came out to test the Bathurst jump, but we'll make sure. Hopefully we see one do it after this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 2. We'll see Zach Beige and Robin Hag on the front row. Rudolph Gunther, Wessel Stevens have the second row. Adam Barker and Ian Tansius on the third row. Avery Walker, after winning race 1, starting in 7th. Mike Marshall in 8th. Roman Berg in 9th. And Nick Sorensen in 10th. Hello, Dazzy. Again. Just waiting on the last 2 drivers to take to the grid here. And it does not look like Roman Berg is going to make the grid. He does not. He will have to start from pit road. So Zach Bache and Wessel Stevens will be out front. Does help out Sorensen, who was fast in the early going, but after that problem going up the mountain, a huge setback, he had to go to pit road, get repaired, finished 10th in race 1. Can he do better this time? Pace car dives to pit road. Zach Bache in control. And out of the final turn, they are gone. Down and away, green flag is in the air. And they are side by side into one. Wessel pulls ahead. Robin Hagg came off pit road, out on track. Their nose to tail coming up the mountain is going to get spicy. Avery Walker is going to have to be patient to make it through. Everybody so far up the mountain fine. That was a gutsy pass by Tanzius to take third. Holy cow. Meanwhile, Wessel Stevens and Zach Bache opening up a gap. Mike Marshall, Nick Sorensen, Robin Hagg have had a problem. We'll take a look after lap 1 is done. Wessel out front, still has Zach on the bumper. They've got an almost 2-second gap. Back to Tanzius in third. Sorensen has had another problem. He has gone to pit road. And as they come out of the final turn, Wessel Stevens has come from 4th to lead lap 1. What an eventful first lap that was. Let's take a look at some of these incidents. First off, let's take a look at the pass for third. Rudolph Gunther looked like he got just a little tap of the wall there, and Tanzius perfectly takes the spot. Then an issue back behind as they start down the mountain. Oh, Sorensen. Sorensen comes down the mountain in the Mercedes, misses a braking point, too hard on the brakes, collects the cars behind. Then a moment later, as he's trying to get that broken Mercedes back to pit road, it just won't turn. Wessel Stevens is out front. Sorensen is out of the race. Zach Bache had a problem a moment ago. He has dropped to 6th. There's Zach coming down. Holy cow. right there where the car gets super light at the top of the mountain. He just loses grip and goes around, but he kept it out of the wall and out of trouble. In all the chaos, Ian Tanzius has moved into second. He has also just set the fastest lap of the morning. Adam Barker now to third as Avery Walker battles with Rudolph Gunther. As they head up the mountain, Gunther will have the advantage and moves back into fourth. Avery in fifth, Zach Bache in sixth, trying to get back into the fight. Roman Berg currently in seventh, Robin Hagen eighth, Mike Marshall back in ninth, and Nick Sorensen, his Mercedes is done for the day. Is a very, very tricky track, as we have already seen places on the track where the car gets light, you have very little grip, and things get out of shape very, very quickly. Avery Walker on the attack on Rudolph. Rudolph fights back. That is allowing Zach to close in. And since that battle is going on, let's ride along with Zach Bache and take a lap around Mount Panorama as they go across the start-finish line. 90-degree left-hand turn into turn one. Then a long run down the straightaway. A few places where the car gets light here as they're coming up to speed right there. And on the brakes, and whoa, Rudolph shoots into just ahead. Go as wide as you dare without getting into the wall. Here's where it gets really tricky, hard on the brakes. Left hand uphill, not a lot of grip through that turn. Over the top of the hill, and that's where the car gets light yet again. Then they begin to point them back down the mountain. Being careful not to cut the track and lose time. And the nose often scrapes as they come down the mountain through some of the dips in this section. Then back out to the long back straightaway. Right on the bumper of the McLaren. Zach shoots to the outside to see if he can set up for the turn. Just a little kink, then hard on the brakes into the left-hander. Short right-hand turn, and they head for the final 90-degree left turn. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap around Mount Panorama. Zach did that lap in a 2:07.22. Zoom indeed. Wessel Stevens out front continues to extend that lead over Ian. Almost 4 seconds now. Barker lurking right there in third. Avery now up into fourth, is closing in. Rudolph Gunther in sixth, Zach Bache in seventh. Kevin Hag back in eighth, Roman Berg in ninth. Mike Marshall surprisingly a little off pace. He was keeping up with the lead group in race one. But it looks like that Corvette a little bit slower here in race two. Robin Hag has had a problem back behind. Oh, Robin clips a little bit of the grass, coming to the top of the mountain, clips a little more, and big spin, big hit into the wall. He does get it rolling and will likely be making an early trip to pit road. If Roman comes to pit road now, it is very likely it will be too early. He won't be able to go the distance. I'm sorry, Robin, if Robin comes in this time. And it does look like Robin is going to come in and get the car fixed. Not sure he can make it from here on the fuel. Wessel's lead holding about 3.7 seconds. Tansy is starting to crank it up a little bit, gaining little by little. Bringing Adam Barker back behind with him. The man on the move is Avery Walker. He was over 4 seconds behind Barker, now just 2.3 seconds back and closing. Wessel is trying to extend his lead. He definitely has the advantage on the straightaway. The Acura is faster on the straights than the Porsche. Porsche does have the handling advantage coming up the mountain though. Avery Walker just set the fastest lap of the morning, 2:04.83 in fourth place. Over half a second faster than the rest of the field last time by. And if Tansius and Barker start battling, he's going to get there even faster. Neither driver can afford to make any mistakes at this point, but Adam Barker really cannot. It could cost him the title. Avery continues to get closer, now less than a second and a half back. What does look like Avery will catch them, but will he be able to get by one or both? Very tricky track to make a move on. As Avery continues to inch closer and closer. And Wessel Stevens out front is just getting further and further away. His lead now just over 5 seconds at the finish line. Robin Hagg is back on pit road. Looks like Robin had another problem a moment ago and has towed it in. Heading up the mountain, smacks that wall. Likely bent the steering, he towed her in. Hard hit for Robin, and oftentimes it doesn't look bad, but it will damage the steering components and make the car undrivable. Robin is still on pit road, hoping to get repaired and get back out. And Avery in fourth has caught up to the back bumper of Adam Barker and Ian Tanzias. Adam and Ian are definitely watching those rear view mirrors closely. And Adam takes the shot to the inside. And Adam Barker goes to second. Remember, Adam Barker in second, Avery Walker in fourth. They are battling for the championship, and the points extremely close. Rudolph Gunther currently holds on to fifth. Zach Bache in sixth. Mike Marshall has now moved up into seventh. Roman Berg back in eighth. Robin Hagg still sits on pit road in ninth, and Sorensen out early. Zach was closing on Rudolph. They were battling a few laps ago, but it does appear Zach has lost a little bit of ground here. Meanwhile, Avery Walker starting to look for a way past the two cars ahead. And while all of this is going on back behind, Wessel has just continued to drive away, now a 6-second lead. Avery peeked out as they came toward the last turn, but did not make the move. As they come out of the first turn, that Porsche, lacking in straight line speed, might be easy pickings at the end of the straight. Avery peeks to the inside but does not go for it. Meanwhile, Adam Barker starting to put a little bit of space between him and Ian. Rudolph Gunther back in 5th. Zach currently runs 6th. Mike Marshall in 7th. Roman Berg in 8th. Rudolph trying to put some space between him and Zach. After that earlier battle, he's now opened up a 2-second gap. And Avery Walker has taken 3rd from Ian. Let's see what happened. Oh, Ian came off the turn and got the wall there, then goes a little wide. Wow, that's one heck of a save by Tanzius, and Avery was in perfect position to take 3rd. And problems for the leader, Wessel Stevens. There's Wessel coming down toward the final turn. Overshoots, and I think he kissed the tire wall. Now the blimp too far away, but let's take a different angle. Did that car get damaged here? A little bit of a kiss. I think he'll be okay. Trying to get a look and see if Wessel has any damage. Does not look like that right side is showing anything. Nope. Roman Berg is coming in. Mike Marshall is coming in. Mike Marshall went off track a moment ago. You can see a little damage to his right front. Let's see what happened. Oh, a little bobble as he comes up to the top of the mountain, it looks like. Overshoots through the sand. Gets a little bit of the wall, but one heck of a save. Straightens her out and heads down the mountain. A lot of great saves going on out here today. Despite the incident a moment ago, Wessel now has a 6.5 second lead as the battle is on for second place. Adam still holds it, but Avery right there with him. Zach Bache has come to pit road for his stop. Ian Tanzius back in 4th, Rudolph Gunther in 5th. There you could see the cars getting light as they came over that little rise. You see them get a little light there as well. That little bit of the car getting light as you start down the mountain. It is very unnerving the first few times it happens. While they battle for second on back, Wessel almost a 7-second lead. He just needs his pit stop to go perfectly, and he will walk away with a dominant finish. Wessel had a bit of an off track once again on the final turn, but no damage. Adam Barker, meanwhile, appears to have pulled a bit of a gap on Avery. And Ian Tanzius is closing back in. Rudolph Gunther back in 5th. Zach Beisch has completed his stop in 6th. Mike Marshall in 7th. Roman Bergen 8th, closing in on Marshall. A little kiss of the wall by Wessel. You see the sparks shooting off from time to time. Another sign these guys are going right to the limit. As Adam Barker has pulled a gap in 2nd, Avery in 3rd has lost some ground. Ian Tanzius in 4th, now right there with Avery. Apparently the Conliff Esports team yesterday, during the 12 hours of Bathurst, they had a little bit of fun, and according to reports from the team, almost every driver on the team pulled a 360 no-scope at least once. It was definitely a monsoon. Adam Barker in 2nd is gaining a little bit now on Wessel. Could be tire wear coming into play. He has pulled a gap on 3rd place Avery Walker as well. And remember, Adam and Avery are battling for the championship. Although it is very, very odd seeing Adam without Hello Kitty on the car. Does confuse me a bit. Avery has started to pull a gap on Tanzius once again and closing back up on Adam. Likely we saw Avery taking a lap to try and cool the tires down a little bit and have another shot at Adam, but did he lose too much ground? Oh, and Tansius is going to bring it in. Avery Walker just set the fastest lap of the morning. He continues to close back in on Adam. A 2:04.83. Adam was gaining ground on the leader, Wessel Stevens, but it looks like their pace is evened out for the moment. The gap holding right now at about 6.3 seconds. Adam in second, Avery currently in third, Rudolph Gunther back in fourth now. The top four have not been to pit road, everybody else has. And that is coming into play now. Wessel Stevens about to come into lap traffic for the first time. Would be a good opportunity. Yep, Wessel is going to bring it in rather than try and battle and get slowed down through lap traffic. Adam Barker stays out. Avery continues to stay out. Barker now to the lead. Avery in second. Rudolph Gunther is coming in. Adams lead 1.9 seconds over Avery. Wessel coming off pit road now in third. It's the first time Barker has led all morning long. Adam, the most dominant champion in NSS history, trying to pull off, I believe, his 8th championship this season. Will he come in this time? And Barker is heading in. Avery also comes in. Wessel Stevens coming down the long straight. Can he get there and reclaim the lead? Wessel coming down into the final turn. Barker and Walker still on pit road. Wessel goes a little wide yet again. Adam is on his way out. This is going to be close. It's a drag race, but Wessel has the advantage. Wessel has the nose ahead, barely there, side by side. Avery not far back. And Wessel back to the lead. Avery lost a little ground on pit road in third, about 2 seconds back. Meanwhile, Wessel back on top. The top three all within about 2.5 seconds at the moment. Ian Tanzius in fourth, just about 8 seconds back, but at the moment Tanzius is gaining. Rudolph Gunther in fifth, has some breathing room over Zach in sixth. Mike Marshall back in seventh, Roman Berg in eighth. At the moment, the top three all within striking distance. Just under 14 minutes ago, it's gonna be a fight to the end. Both Wessel and Adam go wide on the final turn. Avery in third is inching closer to the top two. Avery continues to close in as they come up the mountain. Wessel out front, just trying to push the car, hit his marks, and not leave anybody an opening. Avery still lurking 1 1/4 seconds behind Barker. Ian now 8.1 seconds back. He was gaining on the top three, but lost a little ground. Avery closed right back up. Adam Barker lost some ground in the final sector. And now Avery is right there and he has a run. Roman Berg has had a problem behind. Roman looks like coming up the mountain, the back end. Just steps out, quickly gets it turned around. Oh, hits the wall. but does keep the car going and heads up the mountain. The top three still less than 2 seconds apart. Wessel trying to open up a gap once again. He's got about 1.6 seconds on Barker. And Wessel just has his fingers crossed that they get side by side and battle for a bit. Ian Tanzi is now about 8.5 seconds back, not gaining any ground, but he does have a big gap back to Rudolf Gunther in 5th. Zach in 6th, big gaps both ways. Mike Marshall in 7th, Roman Berg in 8th. Robin Hack still on pit road. And Nick Sorensen out early. A very close battle for second is allowing the leader to pull away. Hey, good morning, Quack. Wessel Stevens definitely taking advantage of the battle behind. He has now opened up about a 2-second gap. Hey, good morning, Neko. Avery still staying right on the bumper of Barker, but has not made a move. Actually, that's an Acura and a Mustang and a Corvette's back here. And Wessel Stevens just set the fastest lap of the morning. Does appear the sun is going down a little bit, providing a little bit cooler temperatures, and Wessel just set a 204.72. Adam Barker in second, still trying to hold off Avery, has not gained any ground on the leader. Ian Tanzi is currently in 4th, Rudolph in 5th, but the battle is between the top 3. Adam and Avery are losing ground to the leader. Neko, the new Supras are beautiful. And I'm glad that they're making a lot of, or some racing series just for that car. Adam Barker in second, still holds Avery off, and Wessel continues to pull away. Wessel's lead now 2.7 seconds over Adam. And here we go, the attack for second, but Avery couldn't get it done. Every position between these two drivers counts right now because they are so close in the points. Ian Tanzius had dropped further back, but as they battled, he is closing back in, still 9 seconds back. And that little bit of battle coming to turn one gave Wessel an even bigger lead, now over 3.5 seconds. Ian Tanzius in fourth, continues to close in. Rudolph Gunther back in fifth. Great to see a Gunther back in the field today. Zach Bache in sixth. Mike Marshall in seventh. Roman Berg in eighth. Fourth through seventh, unlikely to change positions. And Wessel Stevens keeps opening his lead up bigger and bigger. But this battle for second and third, and the battle in the points, it's just getting closer and closer. Avery peaked out, but didn't have the run. Don't forget, folks, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, a doubleheader BRR Cup Series followed by the SMRX Series. Tomorrow night at 7:30, we've got Jones BS Racing back on tap. Wednesday night C12 Motorsports Retro Truck Series is back, and Thursday night Home Motorsports is back. A great week of racing ahead, and you never know what'll pop up on Tuesday evening. Adam doing everything he can to keep Avery in his mirror. Avery has been unable to mount a significant run so far. And Wessel just continues to run away as he comes into lap traffic. That Porsche ahead may give him a little bit of help here. Roman ended up going off track through that sector and actually helped out Barker and Walker. As here we go, white flag is in the air. One more time around for Wessel Stevens, just under 4 miles to go. Adam Barker still holds second. Avery holding on to third. And you know we're never going to hear the end of it with the Mustang being on the podium twice today. Wessel Stevens lead now just under 3 seconds. Adam is getting closer, but it's the final lap and he's going to need a miracle to get there. As Wessel heads down the mountain the final time. Off the mountain, onto the straight. Wessel a 3.5 second lead over Barker. Avery right on his bumper in third. Lap traffic ahead. Lap car moves over, lets the leaders by. As here he comes, Wessel Stevens down toward the final turn. Wessel's gonna get it done and win at Mount Panorama. And Adam comes home in second with a very close third by Avery Walker. And it does not look like anybody is going to show us the jump. Let's talk to our top three. Avery, I can only assume that that's a Chevy under a Ford body because it did good.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Unfortunately, American power, no match for Japanese power. Wessel and Adam did an amazing race, and there was really nothing else I could do.
Well, you definitely gave it one heck of a fight those last few laps. You definitely made him work for it, and you kept battling Adam. We thought a couple times you had the run, but just not enough.
Yeah, just not enough, and kudos to them. They really did an excellent job.
Well, great job. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Adam Barker coming home in second. Adam, it got really, really close there at the end, but you managed to hold on to second place.
Yeah, it was a crazy race there. I was trying to hunt down Wessel, but then he was just a little bit too far ahead, and then Avery was really making his presence known. So just had to sort of just save what I had. I couldn't look forward. Just trying to make sure that Avery was behind me, get some points back for him.
Well, it's
the first race, yeah.
It's definitely tightening up between you two. It's going to be one heck of a fight to the end of the season.
Yeah, a couple of points left in between us now, so it's going to be super interesting for the end of the season.
Man, congratulations! Great run.
Thank you.
And finally, our winner, Wessel Stevens. Wessel, there's a couple times I didn't know if you'd make it, but man, you pulled it off. Great run.
Thank you very much. It was a great race. I messed up the pit stop a little bit, so I messed up my gap a little bit. And I was also pretty lucky that Adam and Avery were probably battling quite hard. So yeah, I managed to make the gap 3 seconds at the end, and yeah, pretty glad about the result.
You definitely have to be, and man, that was one heck of a fight. There were several times out there where they started closing in on you, and then you just suddenly check out again.
Yeah, I noticed that they were gaining a little bit of time, so I tried to focus a little bit more, and at the end got also the fastest lap, so it worked.
Well, man, great job. Congratulations. An awesome win today.
Thank you very much, man.
He messed up on pit road and still managed to pull off the win. Wessel Stevens gets it done, folks. Thank you guys. Manny, thank you guys so much for coming by this morning. Don't forget, 7:30 Eastern, we will have some more racing for you. Don't forget, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and especially YouTube. A lot of YouTube shorts coming soon. Hope everybody had as much fun as we did. We'll see you tonight. Have a good one, everybody.